Welcome back, Troglodytes, to your daily dose of guitar information, the Trogly's Guitar Show. Tonight's topic, Dweezil Zappa has a new reverb shop that just launched today. Now, by the time I got around to covering it, most of the stuff is already gone, but we can at least take a look at what's left. And we'll start with this one. A beautiful play on words, chic your booty. So this is a Moser guitar right here. Seems to kind of be like super Strat in style, has some sort of like a Floyd Rose, but it has his dad on there. That's like his album art, if I'm remembering correctly. And this was custom airbrushed just for him. And then you get to the back, there's not too much going on here. It appears to have been played quite a bit, just judging by the back, unless that's just like a intentional relic job. How much is this one? $25,000. I can see why this one might not have sold quite as quickly, because not everybody can quite afford that one. Our next one in the shop is this green Charvel that he used on the cover of Having a Bad Day. Now, in the Reverb video when he was talking about all these guitars, which is a must-watch in my opinion, Mr. Zappa has a whole bunch of stories about these things. There were some people in the comments saying that he got his stories mixed up wrong. He thought he used this in the music video, but I guess it's just on a cover, and they kind of fixed that up. And if I remember correctly, I think this was the guitar that he was saying actually comes with his matching suit. So if you're interested in this little piece of history, even though in his words, it's one of the worst choreographed videos ever, it is available. How much is he wanting on this one? Ooh, $35,000. But 15 offers, who knows, it might sell. And then he had a couple of PRSs here that were just like his own playing type things. But this is the one that I was curious about. So this was a signature model for him, but I don't think it was ever like actually went into production. It might have just been a custom order thing. Out of all of his guitars, this one's definitely in the top 3 for me. It's a little bit strange with this little whoopity-whoop right there, but then the regular big horn that these guys normally have. But check this out. Semi-hollow, master volume, master tone, I'm guessing, with a toggle switch all the way down there. And the PRS wrap tail pieces are phenomenal. I remember liking a guitar that I had with that. What I really dig about this is he's got the treble clefs down here for, the high wheedly notes. And then he's got the bass clef, for the lower notes. But oh my goodness. That neck, it's a really tight pinstripey flame, but I bet that looks fantastic in person. And then you've also got the flamed mahogany or whatever type of wood that is. This is interesting. I really wish these things would have went into production, even if it's just for not having bird inlays and something else a little bit unique. You also get the matching flame maple veneer for the headstock. That neck is just crazy. Custom built for Dweezil Zappa. Looks like the serial number says 2012. How much is this thing? $15,000. I'm surprised there hasn't been more interest in this. I mean, in my eyes, that's kind of like a private stock. Zappa is a big name. I mean, he's quite the musician himself, just outside of what his father did. This thing's kind of tempting, to be honest. It's unique. I guess I'll have to think about that. Then he's also got a MCcarty. I mean, why is this the same price as his custom order thing? Maybe it's just because this thing looks weird. It reminds me of Prince's guitar. You know how it's got that big long horn? It's just not quite as long. I wonder if that was an inspiration to him. I mean, this is the more traditional PRS guitar, but in my opinion, I'd rather have his makeshift signature model. Like, this doesn't even have a super flame neck. Oh man, am I gonna talk myself into buying that thing? Looks like he's got a Gibson 336 left. He was talking about this one in his video. That's a nice top for one of those. That had to have been hand-picked out by him. So it's kind of a Les Paul size 335. And then you flip over to the back, it gets a little bit boring. Uh-oh, the guitar's sad. How much does he want for this one? Okay, whoa. $6,200. I mean, all these listings were at a premium. But just to show you how much that one is, it's about double. I mean, like brand new ones are $47.99. However, there's tons of Zappa fans out there, and if they don't price them so high, you get people that buy out the entire shop and then try to sell them for even more. So I think it's best to list high and accept offers. We've even got a couple of Steinbergers in his collection. Looks like it's got his name on a decal, some stars, the Steinberger logoing 22. He's got a lot of single pickup guitars in here. That's one of those brands I think you had to be there at the time to fully appreciate Ned's look into the future. I remember I sold a the Les Paul to like one of the biggest Steinberger fans in the world, and like his love for them is infectious. Like some of the early ones are pretty cool. I think it'd be interesting to see Gibson bring Steinberger back, kind of like they're doing with Kramer, because last I checked they still own Steinberger. His personal axe effects there, 1350. Huh. Axe Effects Ultra. So it's not one of the newer ones. It's not a steal of a deal. Looks like all these other ones are about $800 or so. So not quite double. Pretty much everything else down here. I don't really look into rack mounted gear, so it just looks like boxes to me. Let's see what he sold today. This thing right here. I was shocked to see it was only $5,000. This is another one of those Mosier things. This, outside of his custom PRS thing, this is the guitar that I wanted, but it was sold even before I saw these things. I just wish it was more Stratocaster-like, because Fender's actually done a Stratocaster just like this one before. I did a Rock or Not segment on it. There was also a Gibson Les Paul done in a similar style, but not quite the same. For whatever reason, I like these crazy things. There's a good backstory to this one too if you watch that video. He essentially just said, hey, make this guitar crazy. And he's like, sure, here you go. I can appreciate the art style. The only thing that probably would have stopped me from buying this is it's not the Stratocaster shape. If it was a Strat, I'd be okay, but it's more like, I think, what was it, Duosonic, something like that, he said. But $5,000 for that, I can see why it sold. And the other most unique thing out of his whole collection is this Ripley bass. So it started life as like a bass guitar, like P-bass style, but then they slowly converted it into an electric guitar. I'd love to see Davey 504 demo this thing. It's unique. I'll give him that, because not only is it a bass transformed into a guitar, but it's got a Floyd Rose on it.
So like,
there must be some balance issues with this or something though. There's gotta be a reason that Strat button's right there. I'm kind of sad to see that it sold $6,500. I think somebody just straight up bought it. I want it, but not quite $6,500 bad. Like here's a Derek Trug's Zappa SG, Zappa-Owned anyways. I was really hoping that we would see a couple of the actual Frank Zappa Roxy SGs from his collection in this. But unfortunately, it looks like he's holding on to those guys. But was this given to him by Mr. Trucks? That would make it kind of cool. What's going on with that headstock? Those are some really pointy wings. That must have been like a early weird prototype. I know those things have the big headstocks, but that's like Batman going on. I can't believe that. Is there a story here? Okay, it was played on tour, so it's not like he just had the guitar and he's asking a bunch of money because he's the one that owned it. It's actually been played on stage. Ooh, and it's been plaqued. There's kind of another interesting PRS in his collection. It's an SE, but Carina body, kind of Les Paul Jr. in style. Man, it's just got one volume knob, no tone? Or is it master tone? That seems like a really bad idea for just a one pickup guitar to only have one control, but I guess if that's what you need it for. That seems like a cheap way to get some Zappa memorabilia. Yeah, that was a steal. Regular ones, people are asking $700-800. Looks like they're even selling between like 5 to 6, maybe up to 700 even. Looks like it might need some setup and or sanding work. I'm not sure. $550? There's a reason why that was probably one of the first ones to sell. Put a link in the description to his shop. I'm not seeing anything else that's really catching my attention, except for this Trini Lopez. That's pretty cool. Looks like he had a couple of cases and some pedals. The pedals were probably your best deal if you wanted to get Zappa on the cheap. And that's usually why those things sell out so fast. I'm not even sure if these were listed today. These might be like old listings, from previously. So now we gotta think. Dweezil Zappa signature model. Let's first make sure I'm not crazy and ensure that this is not actually a thing. Nope, it's not. How much do I think this thing is worth? I don't know. There's nothing you can really compare it to except for maybe a private stock. But this was, for a signature artist. It even says it on the back, custom built for Dweezil. Is that Paul's actual signature or is it a silkscreen? I mean, it's nice. It's so tempting. I want to document it because it deserves it. But at the same time, I know I'd have to, sell it on, and people don't look too kindly to buying from these artist shops and then jacking the price up to sell them. Kind of puts me in an awkward situation when I want to review, rare one-off type guitars. I mean, of course, I'm a businessman, but, I try to be fair and honest about everything. Well, let's read into it a bit more. So he's saying it's based on a mandolin model that they had. Okay. It's not tiny, is it? I hope not. Oops, that's embarrassing. They misspelled Dweezil. That reminds me when I was talking to Rick Nielsen over email, he gave me a hard time about spelling his name wrong too. It happens to the best of us. We don't mean to be mean. Alright guys, I put an offer in. It's not $15,000, but it's definitely in the 5 figures. We'll see. Who knows? It's unique enough, it speaks to me. Okay, troglodytes. Thank you for tuning into tonight's episode. I know I promised the Captain Kirk Douglas SGs tonight. I'm sorry. It is done. It's completely done. It's edited. It's uploaded to YouTube, but I felt it was a little bit too late to release that video tonight. So 1000% guaranteed tomorrow, and then a very special Fender Friday this week. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we will catch you tomorrow on the next episode. Take care.